All right, everybody. I want to welcome all of you to this meeting. Today it'll be a fairly short meeting, but we wanted to give you the opportunity to ask some questions about the 2 week program, which is a very significant program, and we won't be able to give you details about practices, etc., but we will be able to perhaps answer some of the questions that will allow you to decide about attendance. So again, welcome everybody. I'm going to just say just a little bit about Robbie. Robbie is one of our most experienced teachers. She has been involved with the Foundation's work since the early 2000s and has taken courses, etc. She studied with Michael Harner, and then those of you who know of Alicia Gates, who passed a little while ago, she was also one of our major teachers. And so she's been teaching in Colorado now, in Boulder. Many of you have probably had some workshops or online trainings with Robbie. And if you have, you know that not only is she a very kind and compassionate person, she's a very excellent and clear teacher. Robbie, why don't you give us just a little bit of an opening statement? People would like to hear from you what you think about the program.
Yeah, so get the ball rolling here. I'm sure that given that you are interested in the program, you've seen the website and you've seen the description and other information that's available about the program. So you know that the program will focus on the classic core shamanic healing methods. Extraction healing, power soul retrieval, psychopomp work, also some divination techniques, and some beautiful work with spirits of nature. In addition to that, in this program, there are some ceremonies and other types of practices that are not in any of the weekend workshops. And so those ceremonies kind of lend a framework to the whole program, a context within which we can go deeper into our work. The prerequisites for the program, as you've seen, are the basic or 3 particular online workshops. But it also often happens that there are some very experienced people who are also doing the 2 week training. Some have done the 2 week training before, some are 3-year program students or even graduates. And so there can be a wide range of experience in the group, and that really lends to the richness of the experience for everyone. It is an intensive program. That's why they say that in the name right there, 2 week shamanic healing intensive. Well, it is so. And part of that comes from just the long nature of it. It's 12 days. And even though we're learning practices that you can also learn in a weekend workshop, the continuation of the work together builds and deepens over time. And people have the opportunity to go very deep with their helping spirits, more than you can do in a weekend workshop or even a series of standalone weekend workshops. So it's a very beautiful time. People have described it as life-changing. I don't think that's an exaggeration. So those are my first thoughts. Oh, I did want to say one more thing. There are people who have taken the 2 week program last year, since the first one since the pandemic, who have only had online workshop experience and no in-person workshop experience. And so just in case that's you, I just want you to know that we found that those folks did just as well as people who have had in-person workshop experience. There's a couple of adjustments and things you have to just kind of get used to that relate to being together in a room in person with other folks. you have to be quiet when you're journeying, and you have to, stay in the circle and not get up and run around or check your email, things like that. But you get that figured out in about the first minute. And from there on, it's just as if you've had in-person training and experience. So I think that does wrap up the opening comments I wanted to make. So I'm really happy to see all of you, and thank you for being here. And if you have any questions, this would be a really good time. Yuko, am I saying that right?
Yes,
Can you unmute yourself?
you'll have to unmute yourself. You'll go. There you go.
I'm very low tech.
Okay.
It's
All right.
okay.
In fact, this is my first initial inquiry into this part of life that has, in the past 2 years, opened up to me. And thank goodness for the internet, because I have no background. And just because of the way things unfolded, I find myself finally trusting that this is a path that it would be valid. I feel as though I have kind of passed through some initiation. I can't explain much of what I've experienced. And I haven't had any kind of online training or anything. Would I not be able to attend something like this? Do I have to do?
There are just a couple of prerequisites.
Okay.
And you can see those on the website. And they can be met with online workshops. And there's plenty of time. The ones that are required for the coming 2-week program, they are being offered fairly regularly. So I would say just check those out and see what the schedule is and jump in. Hi, Margie.
Speaking of initiations, several times over the past years, I've heard people refer to the 3-year program and this intensive healing program as having initiations. And I know you can't go into real detail, but what exactly is that? Does that refer to the ceremonies you were talking about, or a deepening of your practice? What exactly?
So specific to the 2-week training, I would say that's what that refers to. I would say that those ceremonies have the potential to be initiatory in nature. We never know when an experience is really going to be an initiation in the strict sense of the word, meaning that it will move you forward and move you deeper in a way that couldn't otherwise have happened. And so people who come to the 2-week intensive, they are in a position to receive initiatory experiences from the spirits. When it comes to the 3-year program, that is specifically designed to provide initiatory experiences for people. And that's sort of off the subject of today.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, Robbie. First time. Can I ask, I've taken the 3-year intensive and I've done, many basics too. Would you kind of explain the sort of level of, for example, what you mentioned, the extraction and the divination and the psychopomps and so forth that you'll be teaching? What kind of level? I'm sure it's different for everybody, but what kind of level are we looking at when you
Well,
talk
if I
about?
understand you correctly, I would say that the level is comparable to what you would receive in the weekend workshop. There are some differences. The weekend workshops devote 2 whole days to each practice. In the 2-week intensive, there's slightly less time than that. But remember that in the 2-week intensive, there is this broader context within which you are learning or relearning each healing technique. And I would also say that anytime you learn a practice like this, you have the opportunity for your spirits to take you from the level that you currently are and move you forward and move you deeper in that practice.
I understand. Thank
Does
you
that
very much.
help?
Yes, it does.
Sounds good. Okay, thanks. Thanks for your question. And there's her.
Hi. So I'm wondering if you can give us a little bit of an idea of what a day would look like, or what this is
Sure.
going to look like for us.
Yes. So I'll pick a full day just so you get an idea of the schedule. But the day runs like this. It goes breakfast at 8 o'clock, morning session from 10 o'clock to noon. Then there's lunch, and then there's an afternoon break. There are optional activities that go on during the afternoon break. The afternoon session meets from 4 to 6, dinner after that, and then the evening session meets from 8 to 10. That is a day. That's another reason why it's called intensive, because that is a full day. Does that help answer the question?
Thank you.
Good. All right. Gerardo, do you wish to speak? It's so good to see you.
Hi, thank you. Yes, I don't want to take time from the questions with the mother here, but I would like to share my experience as a former student. I take this program 9 years ago, and I just want to stress a special quality of this training, this intensive training, because the fact that this is 2 weeks being every day working give us the opportunity to go much more deeper in the relation with the spirits. When I took the program, I took before soul retrieval, extraction, psychopomp, and so on. But it was, for me at least, really life-changing. And it was also an opportunity to get much more deeper in the intimacy and the relationship and the trust in my spirits. And to do it all together, in my case at least, it gave me a sort of 360 grade, a full or a better understanding of the whole shamanic work, besides the different separate practice. I think after this 2 week, I was really so blessed and so full of spiritual power. I think that this intensity is really a very important added value to the experience, besides other gifts you received during the night session and the program. So I think I agree with you, Robbie. It has the potential, at least, to be really life-changing.
It's really beautifully put. Thank you, Gerardo. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your time.
Nice to meet you guys. I was curious of what would be comfortable to wear, and are we allowed to take any notebooks to write things down, or just mostly
I
that
can answer.
for now?
Yeah, I can answer one of those questions and not the other. So yes, please bring a notebook. There is no electronic note taking of any kind.
Okay.
No recording, no typing into your iPad, anything like that.
Okay.
As far as what to wear, you will get information about that from Debbie Oliver when you write to her, which I assume you're going to, and ask for the registration materials.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Great.
can I add to that, since it's an administrative thing? When this is over, what I can do is I can probably post on the chat to everyone where you would go to find the information. But if you go to shamanism.org under the workshops tab, and then you click on the 2-week program, you will see a link that'll give you more information, but you'll also see a link that will allow you to download the application itself. which has a lot of materials. But what to wear is very casual. It's
Sure.
chilly, it's casual, So casual, comfortable, warm, or cold, depending on the weather. Okay? All right.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you.
So it looks like we have another
Another
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yay, good.
Oh, yay.
I was wondering, this may be kind of individual answer, but I guess I'm contemplating if there's a benefit to spending more time doing the individual like weekend workshops. For myself, I've done the basic workshop, and then I was kind of eager to jump into this, but there's a nagging kind of question in the back of my mind, wondering if I would benefit for pacing it out over a longer period of time, acquiring some of the more specific skills, and then doing what the other gentleman mentioned. It's like then it kind of bringing it all full circle with a more in-depth experience. So I guess I'm wondering like if there's pros and cons, which I'm assuming there are, but to those two.
You're right that that's a really individual question.
Okay.
And I really would advise you to listen to your heart and your helping spirits about that. And there are pros and cons. And instead of pros and cons, what I would say is there are advantages to doing it either way. So if you dive into the 2-week intensive, be aware that you'll be diving into the deep end, but you'll also be surrounded by a lot of support. And if you take individual weekend workshops first, you'll have the advantage of being more experienced when you come to the 2-week. So really that is about your comfort level, your learning style. And I would journey and ask your helping spirits also to see what they would advise for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have 2 minutes.
So looks like Maya may have
Maya.
a second question or follow up.
I just wanted to sort of Elizabeth's question, I think it was Elizabeth's question about what's the benefit of doing just weekend or doing the 2-week. The 3-year advanced course, which I took, is two weeks at a time for 3 years. And I just wanted to say that it's wonderful, beautiful to spend 2 weeks together with people who are like-minded and like-spirited in a way. So you start to feel the tribe, of people who are helping this world through shamanism. And, the weekend courses are wonderful too, but to spend time with a group of people that you learn to trust and rely on and experience together, that is something that is just, you cannot put in words how wonderful it is to know that there are people like yourself with beautiful powers all over the world. So this is why I would recommend 2 weeks very much.
Really
That's what I wanted to
beautiful.
say.
Thank you, Maya. Appreciate that.
Thank you for that, Maya. That's nice to you.
Hi, Elena. Okay.
Anything more that somebody, any other questions that you have? Elizabeth, I think do you have something, Elizabeth? Because you're unmuted. Okay. Oh, you're muted. Okay. All right. So anything that you would like to say a little bit more about, Robbie, and then I'll finish up with some details.
Well, I think that people really asked the salient questions in order to get information to everyone here about what the experience is like and what you have a chance to learn and all of those type of things. And so I appreciate the really good questions. I don't have anything else to add at this point.
Okay, so you'll be unmuted there, Robbie, so just jump in if you feel like you want to add something more after I
Okay.
say a few words. I guess what I just wanted to say was it's very hard to describe a program without having the experience of it. Okay, so you could make a list of, well, we're going to cover this, this, and this. But it is a 2-week shamanic healing intensive because it focuses on the major shamanic healing practices, the classic ones. And so we focus on that. But that is not all that happens there. There are many, many journeys, very personal journeys, where you get the chance to make journeys that you might not have imagined for yourself. Journeys that allow you to really go, I'll call it far and deep in connecting with your own spirits. So there's that aspect of it. And the whole purpose in some senses of the 2-week intensive is to, again, start to help you build your own power, because and connection with the spirits, because you could know all the practices and techniques in the world, but it won't help you. Well, it won't make you an excellent shamanic practitioner or shamanic healer. What will make you that is if your own depth, being whole in your soul, and then connecting with the power of the spirits. And that's what you have the opportunity to do. It's been a long time since I had the 2-week intensive, but when I had that intensive, I felt really changed at such a deep level, I mean, almost like coming back a different person in some ways. Had the same job and nothing fantastic happened particularly there, but I came back with a new appreciation for life and the power of the spirits and compassion and all of those things. And so that's what it provides the opportunity for. And each person's experience is going to be very different. So if you're at all drawn to that kind of work, set aside for a moment that whether or not you've had this weekend or that weekend or anything like that, because even if you've had all of the weekends, your experience at the 2-week will be different. And part of that is because you're different. And so the spirits themselves take you at the level you are. Okay. And so if you're drawn to this, please consider it. If you're not, then obviously fine, and you can also look into the 3-year program. And there's nothing to say that you can't be an excellent shamanic healer taking the weekends, because you will learn the practices. And if you are dedicated and you have a compassionate heart, the spirits will support you and you will be changed there too. But this is an opportunity to, Michael Harner used to say, it's not so much that we're teaching you something brand new per se, but we are speeding up the process for you. And we all know that the world needs people who are compassionate, powerful, and who are working to help others and help our world. So I think that's the thing I always like to say about these kinds of processes. As Robbie said, we're just we're very happy to have you show up here and ask your questions. We hope that you've had a chance to at least hear a little bit more about it. I wish that we could give you an experience of it, a taste of it, so that you'd understand a little bit more about what it's like. But I think those of you who have been through some of our programs understand that we're very experience-based. And so until you've had the experience, it's very hard to describe it in words, because it'll be different for each person. But in any case, you have the possibility for transformation. So Robbie, anything else you would like to say other than thank you and goodbye? Whatever you'd like to say.
Thank you, and I hope to see you in June.
All right. Take care, everybody. I'm going to check us out now. And so hope to see you soon. And like I said, email me your questions. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.